one of this series. Do appreciate that very, very much for that. Cheer 3. I'm going to call it Cheer 3 instead of Cheer 1, Cheer 1, Cheer 1. I could just say 3 bits. I still don't like the name bits. I'm on my own miniature campaign, my own personal campaign, to just not call them bits at all because I don't like it. So, guys, let's introduce our players. The bottom right hand side from Root Gaming is going to be the red Terran player. It is Kelazhur. And in the upper left side of the map is going to be the blue Protoss player from Invasion Esports. It's Harstem. As we set up into game number 1 of this best of 3 series. You're going to see that gateway coming down. I'm just going to be seeing the simulator coming down as well. Top-notch commentary here for a top-notch game. Look at it, man. Such perfect placement. It's funny, you never see players misplacing their gases. It's just how good these professional players are. Never making a mistake like that. Kappa. Harstem says question mark. What Harstem? Because just gonna repeat what his opponent's saying. Oh, where's the racks he's saying? Oh, because he went and checked. Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. Kelazhur is so well known for proxy racks, Reaper and stuff like that Harstem scouts and he's just confused as to why there's no barracks across the map. Incredible, crazy. Alright, so we're going to see that probe from Harstem pulling back up towards the upper left side. He still doesn't believe it. He's double checking. He wants to find out where the proxy is. He doesn't believe that Kelazhur is not going to proxy in this game. He is so ready for this. But it is actually indeed going to be a very standard build order from Kelazhur back at home. He is actually just going to go immediately into a reactor after his Reaper factory comes down as well. And that Reaper just starting to come across the map. So, just going to see that Reaper coming across. This probe is still scouting. Still just wants to find out. Going to go back into the natural, see if he can pick up any more info. Across the map, there isn't actually anything immediately to deal with this Reaper. So we'll pick up one probe already. There's the mothership core coming out. And so one probe. And that Reaper does get pushed away. So not too much of an issue. As the Reaper does now pull back. So Reaper pulls back. We see command center being added on by Kelazhur as well. This probe from Harstem just keeps on moving around too. I'm just going to see that probe. Still just having a look to see what exactly it can get up to here. Again, he just doesn't believe there's nothing hidden on the map at all. Like, look how much he's scouting. He's still moving around this map. Now he's going around the left-hand side. I don't think I've ever seen a map, such a high percentage of a map having been scouted. Ever. At the 3-minute marker. Like, literally. Both players are scouting everywhere. I can't believe it. Twilight Council has started up here from Harstem. Robot Facility is coming up as well. It's about 75% of the way done right now. So, that's 75% of the way done. Which is good. Just very standard stuff, really. As we see the Reaper coming back in, we'll confirm this. It's a nice little scout here from Kelazhur as he comes in. There's a little bit of a look around. You see that probe getting taken down. Another probe. Continue to take damage too. That's 2 workers killed. I'm just going to see that Reaper getting taken down there in the end. So Reaper does fall. What else is going on then? The Twilight Council is going to be finishing up here. Blink or so will be on the way. As that Blink starting to Corona boost out. And we're just going to be seeing a couple of Adepts shading down to the low ground. Pylon comes down here as well from Harstem. And we're just going to be seeing a group of SCVs from Kelazhur going to be heading up the right hand side. Or a group of SCVs, single SCV. Still sort of scouting around a little bit. Alright, so still scouting around a little bit. That Blink is continuing to come out. It's actually turned out to be a very standard game, you know. Wouldn't mind drop going to be coming in from Kelazhur. While he probably sets up into either the 3rd command center or some extra barracks, depending on how aggressively he wants to play. Going to be sending this medevac up the left side. 3 Widow Mines. So, very aggressive drop. Let's see how well Kelazhur can deal with it. With the 3 Widow Mines, sometimes players don't realize the first 2 Widow Mines are going off or whatever, and then all of a sudden the 3rd Widow Mine kind of catches him off guard. So, well, they see the first 2 Widow Mines, but they don't realize the 3rd one. Do you see that medevac just coming over to the left-hand side? Going to be moving up this left side here, and well, we are also going to be seeing a 3rd Nexus coming up to being about halfway done. You see, Widow Mine going to be burrowing. 2 of them do burrow. 1 goes off, 4 workers, the other gets 1. Stalker do manage to clean it up as the Observer comes in. Because actually with this medevac still scatting around a little bit, SCV actually spotting the third base on its way out, the medevac 2. So he sees the third base coming up. I mean, super standard from Harstem, really no surprises at all. Kelazhur goes into his second and third racks, and there's the third CC coming down as well. So third CC starts up now, setting up into this. Turret will come in towards the front as well, just behind that bunker, just to keep him safe against potential Dark Templar. I mean, if it's a Twilight Cancel up, you gotta always make sure you're ready for the potential DTs. You never want to risk something like that. As we see this medevac gonna be sat overhead. And those Marines from Kelazhur just gonna be cuddling up between the command center and the refineries. Stimpack has started. Combat Shields is on the way too. So Kelazhur obviously just getting set up into his upgrades now in this game, these bio-based upgrades. We see Harstem just, well, a couple more Stalkers warping in. And just going to start moving across the map himself. So just starting to kind of put some pressure on with these early gateway units. Nothing really too spectacular, nothing too crazy. Very, very standard stuff actually. He's actually bringing his sentries across as well though, so maybe a bit more committed than usual. He has also got a War Prism, which he's going to start harassing with here. Looks as though he's going to head in towards the main base with it. Siege tank currently positioned over towards the main base actually. And that's going to be forced to an immediate lift up on that first Adept, which drops down. Because at this point, I mean, he wants to move in towards his third base, which is maybe what Harstem's trying to deny here. How many gateways is there? There is 6 up, so maybe Harstem going a bit more aggressive than we're giving him credit for. He's still making probes back at home, but he's making a lot of Stalkers and no Resonating Glaives, so he's definitely committing to this. And oh no, no Stimpack, no Combat Shields. This is not a good fight for Kelazhur at all. He's not ready for this amount of units here. And you can just see how many of those Marines already start taking a lot of damage. He's going to come back in with the armies. He wants to try and keep this base alive, but he's going to get targeted down. Kelazhur loses the third command center, and this is disastrous for him already, honestly. Just caught off guard there, wasn't really ready to fight against this sort of army, and just loses so much army. Then the third CC on top of it, and now we're going to be seeing Harstem just started pushing towards the front. Maybe blink some Stalkers to the high ground, get them in here to target down that siege tank so he can keep on attacking. At the same time, Harstem is just as well off going back home and starting this Resonating Glaive, starting his double forge, getting further upgrades going for himself. Just allow him to kind of continue setting up in the game. Oh, I like this though. He's warping in sentries. He's going to go for the the force field on the ramp with the blink up into the main base. Something along those lines, I imagine. Adept shades forwards. Here we go. And actually, that's kind of unfortunate because at the same time as he starts to come up this ramp, the siege tank loads up, which is just a little bit less defense there. You're going to see a Liberator popping out as well. Doesn't get targeted down not straight away. Some Stalkers blink to the low ground. Another Liberator does go down very quickly. Stalkers on the low ground still fighting. Marines stim up this ramp, but only the Marines. You see a force field cutting off the rest of the units. The Stalkers from the low ground blink back up to the high ground. Maybe if you, blink to the right hand side to pick off that Liberator. Could definitely be quite nice as well. As Harstem continues to warp in. He's got a lot of money in the bank, lots of minerals, which he isn't spending as he goes for a big move command in. Harstem, what is he doing? Big mistake as we see now SCV's being pulled in, but man, what was that? We're going to be seeing this little War Prism gets killed off, and Harstem is starting to lose a lot. Big mistakes by our Protoss player. What was that move command? That was absolutely horrendous. And that might just change this game. That might just be Kelazhur now with enough army to go counterattack across the map and win this. And I feel as though he should counterattack, you know, in this position here, in this game. What has he got to gain from just sitting back and waiting? Not really a lot. But he's got so much to gain from winning that fight and going across the map and making use of that. And here we go. He starts to move towards the upper left-hand side. 5 Medivacs and 1 Liberator, I'm sure, will be joining up here very shortly as well. Marines and Marauders collecting together as Harstem will be scrambling to get units together for this defense. Looks as though he's going to just about have enough initially. As these Stalkers and the Adepts get stay on the high ground. He's got overcharges as well, which will be a big part of this. Upgrade lead does currently stand in Kelazhur's favour though. Liberator sieging up makes this even more difficult for the Protoss, who just needs to try and hold on here. Does not want to die again. He's got a huge worker lead if he can just stay alive. But that might be easier said than done. Because this Terran army is very, very scary currently. 20 army supply ahead, or more still. And also with an upgrade lead for a little while longer. In fact, he's going to have +2 attack, while it's still 0-0 for his opponent. That's a huge upgrade lead. That Protoss army is going to absolutely melt. However, he's having difficulties getting up this ramp because of the potential force fields, because of the potential for an overcharges. So he's sort of just stuck down the ramp right now. And that's slowing him down a lot. He's got his +2 attack. When does he go for this? Let's another Siege Liberator go a little bit further forwards here. And here we go. Is this the time to commit? One force field comes down, another available. few units going to get caught in the overcharge. The pylon is going to go down though. Second overcharge has to be popped, and that's all the energy now gone off the mothership core. Actually going to see the Marauders getting rid of that overcharge as well. There isn't actually energy on the sentries any longer. Kelazhur, this is time to fight. 1-1 upgrades have now finished though from Harstem, so his own upgrades now in the game. Kelazhur was delayed quite a lot while initially going for this attack. Upgrades more even than they were before. Also, the army supplies even more even than they were before. These Adepts are going to jump onto the Bio Forces. He splits up and splits away the Terran player, so he doesn't take as much splash damage from the Widow Mines. You see the Adepts getting cleaned out quite easily from the Widow Mines as well. Only a few left over, however. It might still be enough. These Immortals in the back doing a lot. Nice single force field traps those Marauders in. Only one gets away as it gets lifted into the medevac. A few Stalkers left. He needs another warping of Stalkers more than anything, maybe actually to clean out the Liberator here, as he is going to be trying to get that kill. Marines, Marauders will protect him for now. We actually see very quickly the Sentry getting targeted down, and now also the first Immortal getting targeted down. One Immortal left over though, and Widow Mine goes off into the center of the Adepts. One more Widow Mine towards the front still, has to get rid of that one. Does go off again though, more splash damage. The Adepts take some more damage to become a little bit more vulnerable here. Kelazhur is still pushing forwards his main base, floating towards the third, as he continues to try and just get as much economy as possible going for himself. We're going to be seeing a few more units just warping in, and I'm going to see one Liberator just coming up even further forwards now. It's a very tough position for Harstem to actually attack into. The Liberators obviously cover the sort of choke point very easily, and he doesn't really want to kind of push into the Liberators and down ramps, etc. So it's not ideal for Harstem, as we are going to see him walking into. He wouldn't mind even blinking away from the splash. Didn't quite work out for him there. Still took a little bit of damage, but all said and done, Harstem holds on with a worker lead, still slightly behind an army, but his tech is getting there. 2-2 upgrades on the way from him. That's going to be a +2 armor upgrade lead for him once those set of upgrades finish. So it is starting to go in towards Harstem's favour. He is starting to get in towards his upgrades. He has, of course, the 4th base coming up. He still has that gigantic worker lead over Kelazhur. Everything is starting to add together as Kelazhur is going to start going for big drops around the map. It's going to begin with these 5 medevacs and the 2 Liberators into the natural expansion, and here we go. The Liberators will siege up in such a way as to try and stop this army from being able to move forwards here. Stalkers will begin to blink. Already 8 workers going down. Overcharge popped in the back. It sort of feels as though I understand what he's trying to do, but it feels a little bit messy. However, that being said, the Liberators are getting a lot done. 15 workers were killed, and it hasn't been a good trade from Harstem getting out of this. You know, he's been trying to break through, but definitely wasn't easy. All the medevacs survive, although not quite the same story for all of those Marines and Marauders or the Liberators, but it's still, from Kelazhur, a very good trade, I feel, as we see once there's a couple of Adepts coming in, they're going to deny some mining over towards the 3rd base location of Kelazhur, so a little bit of mining being lost over here. 7 workers actually killed is more than you might expect in that scenario, and so Harstem still holds by about a 17 worker lead at the 13-minute 30 marker of this game. Dark Shrine is on the way up still, +2 weapon upgrade. Also coming in is going to be finishing very shortly, as those Marines and Marauders from Kelazhur, they're going to start, or continue to head up the right hand side of this map. We're going to see them starting to stem forwards here. You're going to see that Adept going to be taken down, and another Adept also trying to back away right now. So another Adept trying to back away. I'm just going to see these Marines and Marauders getting ready to go. They stem in, and Liberator sieging as well. You're going to see the Stalkers just continue to take quite a lot of damage, and actually I don't think this time Harstem has enough to keep on fighting. Kelazhur is looking very good right now. This all stems back to that war engagement in Kelazhur's main base, which just didn't go the way of Harstem at all. That move command was a huge mistake by him. Liberators will reposition to trade out a few more Adepts. It's still very close though. Medevac goes down at the end. 30 army supply deficit here from Harstem, but he has taken an upgrade lead, and he will push this back for now. The longer he pushes this back for, the better this is for him. Overcharge popping on the 4th base. That's a little bit... I don't know if that's just the mothership core was all the way in the main base or something. He brought it over to start overcharging like a while ago, and it only just got there, but it's a pretty late overcharge as we see Liberator sieging up again. It's difficult for Harstem again. Doesn't want to fight into all of those liberation zones, not immediately anyways. See those few Marauders, see what they can do. Cancels one of the pylons. Overcharge gets popped once more as Liberators push forwards again. Just nice and slowly. A single DT warps in. Let's see if there's going to be a scan available. Only 2 command centers, or 2 orbital commands I should say, which means that actually here the DTs will start to get quite a lot done before a scan is available. In fact, this is expensive. As you see at the same time, Adepts chasing down workers, no scan, well, no secondary scan available. He actually has 1 scan there, but another DT or 2 could get more damage done. Any depths? They actually and do the back and away for now, so Kelazhur is really hurting for income. Look at that income tab now. Obviously it's not quite accurate just yet as he sends workers back to the third base, but he is very far behind anyway just because he lacks that natural expansion mining now as well. That being said, actually so does Harstem very soon. He's still mining from this natural for now, but shortly he won't be as we see these stalkers moving forwards. They're going to blink behind the Liberators, so they're out of Liberator range, so you can continue to pick them off. If Immortal goes down though, and Harstem is continuing to lose quite a lot here. He's going to lose the last few stalkers, and so in the end, Kelazhur is going to make this happen. GG, he takes game number 1. Let's introduce our players. We're going to kick things off to the top left-hand side. The blue pros from Invasion Esports. It is Harstem. He's down a game. Can he fight back, of course? Can he tie up this series? And that's what we're trying to figure out here in game number 2. As down to the bottom right-hand side, the red Terran player from Root Gaming. Let's hear it for Kelazhur. I don't know what it is today, but I just feel as though I need to I just feel as though I can't drink enough water. I'm just like, I don't know. It's kind of nice outside, but I didn't realize it was like it's like nice and sunny, but it's like quite windy, so it's not actually a nice day. And it's very warm. I don't know. I wish a little bit of wind would blow through my window. That'd be nice. Cool us down a little bit in the room. Harstem is far better than he played in that game. Hope he can play his normal class game number 2. Yeah, I mean, I think Harstem was doing fine. I mean, Harstem actually took a huge lead. Remember, he killed the third command center. And he just really screwed up that attack in his opponent's main base. He should have won. But he just screwed it up a bit. That move command especially was, well, very devastating for him. Losing multiple stalkers for absolutely nothing in return. So hopefully, not going to make those sort of mistakes again. Kelazhur, he is the player with the early aggression in mind, as he adds on his factory very early in this game. I wonder if we see the Hellion Widowmine sort of playstyle, like the Widowmine drop with the Hellion run by at the same time. It's not the greatest map in the world for it, but it's a possibility seeing a kind of a one gas opening here. Well, at least seeing a gas first Widowmine drop. We'll see what else this is going to be as time goes by. It's just going to be seeing a few Marines collecting towards the frontier. So a few Marines collecting. What else is going on? I mean, Stargate being landed on here by Harstem. So that's quite nice. Stargate coming down. What else is going on? I mean, when you sort of look at this, it's kind of interesting. It's like it's an expansion, just nice fast Stargate. So lots of pressure from Harstem early in the game here. We saw him using this against Pult, obviously 2 games in a row, the Stargate opening. He seemed to really like it. So last game was actually a little bit of a switch up for him going into the Twilight Council and the Robo facility. So into the Stargate we head. Oracle is going to be on the way out to begin with here. So Oracle on the way out. And it is indeed Hellions coming out from Kelazhur. Did he get the Widowmine as well? Is that already out here? It should be. Yes, it is. So it's going to be that classic sort of Widowmine drop Hellion run by combo. Let's see how this does. It's actually a weird map though, because the Hellions will actually arrive so much later than the Medevac because of the kind of the layout here, where the Medevac is very easy to get across the map, but the Hellions have to do a little bit of a zigzag to get through the center. Anyways, here we go as the mothership core comes out. Overcharge, not yet. Oracle is out here. Widowmine will begin to burrow. Marine's going to unload as well. He's actually quite close to this pylon, which could be problematic as you see, ooh, an adept or something. I'm not sure what that was actually taking damage from that Widowmine. As you can see, the Hellions will join up as well. So everything just going to join together. Does he overcharge over here? Mothership core takes some damage. Widowmine will go down. Now actually though, he'll find himself behind the natural mineral lab. He needs to keep out of that overcharge range. You see this adept will go down. Another adept will open in as, again, Harstem just looking to try and defend this here, but taking a lot of damage into his natural. I think now there's enough for the Oracle to come in and fight against as well. And he will come in and he will push this back. So Harstem defends quite nicely, and he was ahead on a command on his Nexus for a lot longer than Kelazhur has been. So Harstem, I'd say, defends this nicely. He doesn't really lose any workers. We never saw more than one worker going down there. I mean, what actually went down? 3 adepts, the mothership core died, 2 probes. Yeah, it's 1 Wooden Mine, 3 Marines. Actually, it's very good kind of unit retention from Kelazhur as well. So it's a good trade from Kelazhur. You've got to remember, it's a good trade after kind of delaying this, delaying his own command center for a while. So he needed it to be a good trade. But it was, so that works out. Good stuff. So Medevac just set around here. We see a Cyclones followed up. We see a couple more Widow Mines being built actually. So Reactor onto the factory is very interesting here early in the game. It's not usually what you'd expect to see, as we see the Cyclone locks onto that Phoenix there. Viking getting a little bit of damage done too, but not too much. That Phoenix still moving down the bottom side, and again there's going to be a turret down here. We're going to see these SCVs as well. Just sit into this south side, and well, here we go. A couple of Widow Mines are going to start coming across the map as well. 2 Widow Mines going across the map with this Medevac. What is going to happen here? We see the third Nexus being added on by Harstem down the low ground. So third Nexus coming down for him. You're going to see the Forge and the Twilight Council coming up here as well from Harstem. So Forge and Twilight coming in. You're going to see this Phoenix heading up towards top side of the map. So Phoenix heading up towards the top side. We're going to see a Medevac around the left. We're going to see what it can get up to. Viking here, going to start pushing out a couple of Oracles away. Marines do get Revelated, but not much else, but still Revelation is nice vision. As here we go in towards the natural minimum line and see how quickly Harstem deflects this. As he's he just doesn't respond to it at all. Actually, his response is just the workers of the Adepts that were AFK there already. 7 probes go down, and Harstem takes some heavy damage here. Kelazhur, a 1-0 lead, remember. If he wins this, he would have 2-0'd the player who 2-0'd. It would have been kind of a really weird first set of games where Pult, Harstem, and Kelazhur will both come out with a 1-1 match score, with Harstem being 2-0'd by Kelazhur, Kelazhur 2-0 Harstem. Kelazhur got 2-0'd by Pult, but Harstem 2-0'd Pult, so it would be weird if Harstem was to lose this. As you see, he's actually going to go into Tempest though, super fast. Wow, how didn't I see that coming up? Don't know how he didn't talk about that one. Fleet Beacon's coming down, so we're going to see Tempest production early in this game on Dasan Station. So he's going to just start pressuring with these Tempests very early, and well, we'll see what it turns into. Obviously, a second starport might be very useful here. Viking production from a very early stage of the game, I think, is going to almost be kind of a necessity for our Terran player to hold this off. He actually adds on 2 more barracks after a 3rd CC though, so 3rd CC on the way up, he's definitely going to look to macro for a while. As these Tempests just looking to see what damage they can find. I mean, they find themselves just something from a distance thanks to the Revelation. And sorry, the Revelations are so good as Tempest moving forwards and just going to be seeing what's going on, just checks the gold base hasn't been taken. He does, of course, have his own gold base up, so that's the economy starting to increase quite dramatically here from Harstem. Look at that minimal income difference, 2.7k to 1.9k or so. It's a good advantage that Harstem holds in that. So that's pretty nifty, as we're going to see. There's a little bit of a double drop to the top side, get shut down almost straight away. He's going to load up and try a different angle, but well, now Tempest coming in, they're going to start pushing those back as well, so the Tempest is going to be a real frustration for Kelazhur to deal with here. In fact, a unit which in general are just very frustrating to deal with. As we're going to be seeing Kelazhur just moving around, getting away from those couple of Medevacs. His 3rd command center is going to lift, he is going to take the gold base. Interesting that he takes the gold base so late on in this, you know. We're going to be seeing them rocks get taken down at depths and sentries. Be able to get rid of those there. So these couple of Medevacs coming back and just going to start unloading in towards this gold base. A few Adepts just shading forwards right now. Shading forwards, seeing what they can get up to as we see Marines and Marauds going to break through those back rocks again. Both players actually opening up their back rocks here, so they have access behind this gold base mineralized in case anything starts harassing. It also gives them nice quick access down the sideway pathways from the center of the map, so it's a good way to jump from the center and then move down or up towards the opponent's main base back door. Oracles do fly into the Vikings there. They drop a Revelation though, which means he has the range to utilize with the Tempests now. You always need the Oracles to be able to kind of play the Tempest effectively, otherwise you just don't have the vision that you need to use the entire range of those Tempests, which is just so huge, you know. It's a huge range. So you need to make sure you got that Oracle to give yourself the vision from a distance. Things like Observers don't really work because they're too easily scanned and shut down. Whereas an Oracle Revelation is actually much more reliable. Obviously you have to hit the Revelation, but it's much more like, it's not that hard to do really. Fly close to the army, use a spell. It's confirmed a lot of the times because these Tempests going to start making their defense, but actually Kelazhur stimming up here. No real fear at all. He's up an armor upgrade as he goes into this as well, which is nice too. So trading quite well. Then the Tempest is going to start winning out in the skies, and Harstem just actually has enough. He actually just going to completely clean up those Vikings. Absolutely nothing lost to the Vikings there, and in fact, I don't think he lost much at all. Kelazhur, it looked okay for him. He looked very confident going up the ramp as well, but when all is said and done, Kelazhur just doesn't have that much left over, and he had to pick up a Neve. He actually got out with almost 3 full medevacs, but there was just so much Protoss, and now Harstem going to take his newfound advantage, go across the map. And let's see what exactly he's going to get up into next. We're going to see Revelation comes down. Those Tempests will start to make their way across, although they're not here just yet. Adepts and Stalkers dancing around, trying to only take the fights they want to take. Nice force fields will cut off a lot of those bio units. Good trades. Good trades indeed as those Tempests coming forwards here. Going to be looking to see what they can pick off. You'll see a Viking getting taken down as well. And those Marines continue to take just a little bit more damage here, so more damage being done. That's another Marauder going down, and another one. That Revelation, you can see the power of it now, and another one comes down as well, so you can still pick away from a distance. This is exactly what Harstem wants to be doing. This was his entire strategy from the start of the game, to get Tempests up and start harassing with them. Marines and Marauders stim forward. See the Vikings starting to fight against those Tempests as well, doing some good damage up in the skies. But unfortunately for Kelazhur, it's just not going to make the difference. You can actually see here the Vikings are just running low on numbers. GG well played is called, and we are going to gain number 3. None at all. My face when I'm worried, but I live in a cartoon world. I like that. That's funny. That's funny. Alright. Top left side of the map. Tied up this series 1 game apiece. Probably should have been a 2-0 based on how far ahead he was on Frozen, but hey, that's why StarCraft is such a great game, right guys? Because it can just give us some crazy stuff sometimes. To the top left side, it's just going to be our blue Protoss player, Invasion's Harstem. And down to the bottom right is going to be the red Terran from Root Gaming. It is Kelazhur. Okay, so here we go into game number 3 of this best of 3 series. This is a big one. I mean, Kelazhur, if he wins this, he gets himself in a position where he can still make it out this group. Harstem, if he loses it, well, he will have already lost to Pult, of course. He will already beat Pult, so he'll be 1-1. I mean, if Kelazhur wins this, it will be kind of a 1-1 three-way tie for now, where, of course, Reno is still yet to come in and play his games. So, that's going to be interesting indeed, as we have this early game set up here on Frost. It's going to be fairly standard from both. We actually see it's cross spawns as well, so even more reason for it to be standard. Not going to be easy to attack on this map in these locations anytime soon. Any sort of attack on this map will take a bit of a longer amount of time to get across. It's a fairly large map in these cross spawns. There's just going to be seeing a Reaper popping out in Kelazhur. Just going to be starting to look to see what's going on. So that little Reaper just going to be moving around here, seeing what's happening, seeing what he can get up to. And as we do have, of course, he hasn't figured out where his opponent is on the map just yet, so just trying to figure that out first of all is of course going to be a great start. A probe from Harstem just going to be pulling up towards the upper left hand side, so just going to see just coming back home. Has Harstem actually been across the map already? He did. He saw the command center, so when he saw the command center, he sort of knows what's going to be going on. We're going to see this Reaper just going to be coming in. It's going to be dropping down a grenade, and we do see that probe actually taking some damage. Second probe goes down as well. Nice little stop from Kelazhur. The Adept, maybe not in the best of positions with his shade there to catch that Reaper on the way out. Reaper still will want to stick around, be active on this side of the map. We see the Stargate is on the way up, coming up to being about halfway done the Oracle. Harstem really loves these Stargate openings. It's something which is not necessarily the most standard way to play. I mean, it's not kind of like crazy, like, oh my god, what is this? Never seen Stargate in my life in PvT thing, but it's, you know, compared to like a Robo Twilight opening, it's definitely less common, so it's nice to see Harstem kind of playing this a lot and playing like this different playstyle that we don't usually get to see so often. This Oracle play early in the game. So we're just going to be seeing this Oracle heading down towards the bottom right hand side of the map. So we're just going to be heading down here to see what's going on, see if we can get some damage done. Second Oracle on the way up once again. So Oracle just going to be moving down here, and I see a Woodwine so close to picking off that Oracle. Unfortunately, he does not. So Woodwine doesn't quite go down. There's just going to be seeing those couple of Adepts join up as well. I mean, he wants to be aggressive here with the kind of the Oracles and the Adepts, and he might very well be able to. I mean, you look at this. Marine's actually starting to unload on the low ground here. But here we go. Adepts already going to start doing damage. The Oracle will come in as well. Pops his Pulsar Beam, but backs away. Not overly confident to keep on fighting here, it seems. As he does indeed just end up falling back more so than anything. Has to shade out again, remember, because that Widowmine's there. Harstem doing a good job of remembering that. As you see, oh my god, the Oracle is just going to escape that Medivac, dropping Marines after it. Unfortunate for Kelazhur, but nice for Harstem, keeping both those Oracles alive. Means he has access to more revelations and more harassment potential as the game continues. Medivac coming in towards the upper side here. We do see the third Nexus is going to be finishing up from Harstem, so third Nexus is going to be finishing now, and Twilight Council is starting to come down from a Protoss player as well. So Twilight Council is starting to come down, and just going to be seeing Kelazhur moving through with this Medivac in towards the main base. So Kelazhur moving through in towards the main. You're going to see the Oracles will pop their Pulsar Beams, and they'll clean up those Marines, try and drop off nice and quickly. So no Oracle going to die today. Phoenix will eventually catch this Medivac though, and if he wants to start dropping those Marines again, he's going to die, lose them to the Oracles, so there's not really much he can do anymore. We do see a few couple of workers going down, and that is maybe one positive of this Medivac having been drawn. One positive of the Medivac going down is that the Phoenix has been drawn all the way over to the right hand side, which means that this Liberator is denying mining for a lot longer than he maybe should be. Siege up now on top of an overcharge, not sure how I feel about that one. We'll get one shot off before he gets killed off. Yeah, not sure about that one. I mean, even just position it here, and it would have taken a while for the Phoenix to chew through the Armored Liberator. So you see double forges on the way from Harstem, so setting up into two forges here. You're going to see Blink on the way up as well from our Protoss player. A couple of extra barracks coming down, a second engineering bay and an armory coming down as well from Kelazhur. So setting up into this, we're going to be seeing 5 racks, factory starport, very standard, but no... okay, there's a 5th CC too. So 5th CC also coming up. Yeah, very standard then, just 3 racks into the 3rd, into the 4th and 5th racks now as well. So very standard stuff so far. We're seeing Oracle going to pick off a Widowmine. Nice little pick off there. And of course at this point in the game, Harstem wants to start setting up into this large gateway army. He wants to start getting into some more Adepts. He wants to start getting into that Resonant Glaives after his Blink is done. And for the most part, he's going to stick on this gateway-centric army for some time here. Going into the Robo facility, which will allow him to, of course, first of all, get a couple of observers out to help with Widowmines, etc. But also, of course, start up Immortal production into the future. And that'll be his composition for, again, the next... at least the next 5 minutes here, if not a little bit longer, until we see Archon starting to be added on. And at that point, we're starting to head towards the later stage of the game anyway, where DT harass becomes a big play. You see kind of the... might even see kind of Colossi being something which Harstem switches into, or Disruptor or two, and also the possibility of Tempests. It will be there as well to help him fight against any sort of heavy Liberator count, which is starting to get set up as well from Kelazhur. We do see the starport in the main base right now is starting to come up. So starport's starting to come up over here, and just going to be setting up into that fusion core as well. So he's getting ready for Liberator range, and that's the sort of point where you do begin to sort of see the necessity for Tempests as the Protoss player against the Terran. So Harstem has to be cautious about that. I love this from Kelazhur to the right side though, Widowmine and like a deeper wall. Just going to stop any Adept harassment from running through this right hand side of the map without Kelazhur being very well aware of it. So, and I mean sometimes they'll just straight up stop it as well, just stop those units on the wall. Of course it's unlikely they'll have a observer with them, so Widowmine should actually stick around and stay alive as well. I like this, good little move by Kelazhur. We don't actually see that done very often here. The opportunity, taking an opportunity to wall on Frost. But I do like the idea of it. We see one Oracle does get taken down. It's definitely seen these Oracles have been trading very well throughout the game. It's a shame to see one of them being lost here now. As we see Harstem, for the shade forward of the Adept, will force Kelazhur to pull back and force him down towards the bottom right hand side once again. Kelazhur has to pull back here, and Harstem's going to keep up the pressure. He's moving on to the map. Glaves is about to finish. We have Glaves finishing. He does have the strongest gateway army he's going to get now, of course, apart from adding on to Sias. But as he adds on to Sias, so does Kelazhur. So let's see if he's going to be going for this. Let's see if he's going to commit in. I don't think he has enough, though. It's a good amount of depth, but there's no War Prism here, so there's no reinforcements which are coming for a decent amount of time now. He's going to see those Adepts going in towards the Fed, then thinking twice about it, deciding that's not going to be the best idea. And they pull back instead. Another Oracle coming down towards this bottom right side of the map. Looking to see what it can get up to. Obviously, Revelation is still going to be very important during this. What's that? A couple of Adepts into the main base. Alright then, 12 workers killed. Man, these Adepts, they just do so much every time they make it into a mineral line. 15 workers killed now. And at the same time, Harstem is starting to take a little bit of a fight out the front against a few unexpected Marines. He wants to win that one as well, as this Adept does go down before he can kill off a Marauder. We're getting good damage by Harstem. 16 workers is definitely nothing to be just joking about here. Kelazhur knows losing that many workers will hinder his economy for a little bit. And that he needs to be careful if he does want to keep up with the Protoss player, who is now going into a second Stargate. He's also now adding on that Fleet Beacon. And I think for the second game in a row, we're actually going to reach the Tempests coming out of our Protoss against the Terrans. So it's not every game you see a Protoss player actually making it up to Tempests alive. But this is going to be one of those games. And it's actually going to be the second game in a row where we see Tempests. That's great, isn't it? Like, we just... Again, I actually feel as though we haven't seen a lot of kind of later game TVP lately. It feels a lot of it ends in towards the mid game and so on. So again, to see some Tempests, I like it. It feels like an eternity since I saw Tempests versus Liberators. They do so well against them, of course. As you see, Liberators going to be sieging up. Disruptor shot at the front does a lot. Well, that's a good start to the Disruptor's lifespan in this game. 9 kills. You're going to see once again Adepts in towards the natural middle line. I don't even know how they're getting here. You know, they're just coming out of seemingly nowhere, and all of a sudden it's another 15 workers down. 16 workers down. Really, really cool stuff. As we're going to be seeing those units just collecting together. Stalkers just going to be seeing what they can do. We see a few Liberators still set up though, and it's hard to push into those Liberators when they're set up so nicely across the pathway in. The Adepts to just shade over towards this third base, and we see a couple of those going down straight away against the Adepts, which are causing issues into the natural expansion as well. Adepts on the one causing the issues, doing the damage. This time it's only going to be a few workers killed, 6. Probably the least successful Adept attack we've seen so far. As another Disruptor gets added on, and Tempests starting to come up as well. This really is looking great for Harstem, because again with Tempests, now he can slowly pick away at the Liberators. Once the Liberators are gone, he has such a good time fighting against this army. And how I'll hold on to that forward. We see a little bit of a push forwards then from Kelazhur, maybe catching Harstem a little bit off guard. Disruptor shot did come in though, helped push that back as we see with the mines continuing to be cleaned out. CV towards the front for Kelazhur. Not sure what that's doing there. So we're going to see the Tempest starting to work their way through the Liberators. So one Liberator going down already, and again, this is the frustrating part for the Terran, because these Liberators trade so efficiently. It sort of feels as though you should attack in, but how do you attack in when there's Disruptors pushing you back? It's not an easy position at all to play from. And we're going to see that Revelation still so useful. Disruptor in towards the center. However, Disruptor ball gets shot down, but look at that, another Disruptor shot goes off. Didn't even realize there was one towards the front there. But it does go off and gets a lot of those units, and all of a sudden Kelazhur finds himself in a little bit of trouble here. Finds himself in a little bit of trouble as we see those Stalkers continue to push forwards. Continue to see what's going to be going on. Harstem looking to win this game. Kelazhur says, yeah, whatever. GG. And that's going to be Harstem winning this 2 games.